Good evening. Good, we're alive. It's a little like wedding music, huh? Yeah. Kind of frightened me. I'm sure some of you will understand. If I could get everyone to stand and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. So again, good evening. My name is John Meyer. I'm the president of Hodges University, and I'm thrilled to be able to be here tonight for this pinning ceremony to pay tribute and to honor and to recognize this graduating class of PTA students. So as is my custom, I would like to start, before we formally start, with offer a round of applause to the graduates. Maybe not all of them, but most of them certainly. Okay. All of them? Cindy says all of them. Okay, well, Dr. Vaccarino, PTA faculty, special guests, our graduating class, and their family and friends. Good evening and welcome to the December class of the 2021 Physical Therapist Assistant Pinning Ceremony. And so during your journey in the PTA program that has led to this ceremony here tonight, think about all that you've learned. Think about all the things that you did. Think about all the clinical assignments. Think about something called a plinth. I still don't really reliably know what that is, but I'm pretty sure you all do. Think about all that. And I know that our faculty have taught you the textbook stuff, and I know that they've taught you the practical application things. You know that the benefits of physical therapy is to offer patients the things that they need to help them regain or improve their mobility after injury or after surgery or after simply aging. As it turns out, I happen to know a few things about the advantages of physical therapy after having been something of a volume user of your services over time. And I know these things mostly from the result of getting surgery. By definition, physical therapy involves improving mobility and function in athletes and in university presidents and in the elderly who have injuries or illnesses or medical conditions. I'm certainly no athlete, and I don't know that I'm elderly just yet, though I am closing in on it rapidly. But thanks to the many physical therapists I've had in my life, I have the ability to get from point A to point B most of the time in relative comfort. I have regained most of my range of motion. Take a look at this one, huh? Not bad. What does that score? That's pretty good, right? I can do that with my left hand, not so much with my right. I can do pretty well with my right. Rotator cuff surgery, ×4. And you only have 2 shoulders, right? Okay. So I know some of the tricks of your trade. Think about that. You have learned and practiced your skills in our new and expanded PTA labs in the building next door, and you have faced the challenge of perfecting your techniques while the whole world is still trying to deal with this pandemic. We're 2 years into this thing, and you guys are still dealing with it. We're all very proud of you, and we know that you'll make an immediate and positive impact on the patients that you get to serve, and they will be fortunate to have you. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kathleen Swanek to the stage. Dr. Swanek, it is all you.
Good evening, everybody. So, I'm Kathy Swanek. I am here representing the Florida Physical Therapy Association. So the FPTA, that is your state association. We are a part of the American Physical Therapy Association, and it is the professional association that helps drive physical therapy practice, which includes physical therapists and physical therapist assistants, and we're very happy to be able to welcome you officially to the profession. So you join into the profession as a student, and I know that you're all student members of your professional association. We are here to obviously welcome you, but then also to encourage you to continue to be engaged with your association. The FPTA, the APTA, They are the driving force behind practice and all of the different legislative changes that happen in healthcare. Reimbursement, you've probably heard about a few of those along the way. And we really are the voice of the profession, and we are the only ones to advocate for our patients and our profession. So as I kind of reflect on many of the things that I've done with the association, I am fortunate enough to have been very active over the past 10, 15 years, including having served 2 terms as the chapter president here in Florida. And during that time, I've really learned a passion for advocacy and how much we can do as individuals, but also as a collective group of professionals in this wonderful profession to help advocate for our patients, their families, and all the people that really need our services. It's unfortunate, but probably only about 30% or maybe less of the people who actually could really use our services actually get them. There's lots of different access issues. There's problems with reimbursement. There's problems with the supply of PTs and PTAs in this state. So we're very happy that we can now add to those numbers. The FPTA, when I was engaged as the chapter president, and I continued to serve as our advocacy director, we developed a strategic plan based on different pillars that we felt helped hold up our association, and I think they really apply really well to a new professional entering into the profession. So things that are going to help continue to grow and mold you as a professional in your career as a physical therapy assistant. The first one we thought that was probably the most important, although they all, again, in equal weight help hold us up, is membership, which is one of the reasons why FPTA helps to sponsor graduation ceremonies like this, to encourage that you continue to be engaged and be members of the association. You don't have to be president, you don't have to be on the board, but at least be a member and continue to come to conferences, to come to district meetings, not because you have to as part of your curriculum, but because you want to as part of your profession. Another pillar that we have is advocacy. So I've talked about that a bit. And you will all and are advocates for your profession. There has been many different legislative changes over the years, many of them affecting physical therapist assistants in particular, including cuts in reimbursement, or some insurance companies not even paying for PTA services. And we have been actively engaged in changing those and have had great successes over the years. And we continue that fight with CMS and Medicare and Medicaid. But continuing to be an advocate is part of our responsibility as a professional. Another pillar that we have is practice. So you've spent a lot of time practicing to get to this point, to be graduates of the program, and now you're going to go out into active clinical practice. But everything you learned here, and I know you learned a lot, and you learned it well, and you learned it basically at the top of the evidence for what our profession has right now, but it changes all the time. So be lifelong learners, continue to grow in your practice, seek out clinical specialties that are available to you through your professional association, come to conferences, engage with other PTAs, learn new skills, and advance your particular clinical practice, because that's what our profession needs, that's what our patients need. Another pillar is leadership. So, believe it or not, you will very soon and very quickly become leaders in your chosen profession. You've all just finished clinicals where you had a clinical instructor, you've had faculty, you've had people that have helped lead you to this point. But very quickly, you're going to be the leader for the next generation of PTAs. You're going to be taking students. You are going to be maybe engaged in the professional association. We look to your continued leadership in this profession to help us continue to grow and serve the community that we are fortunate to live in here in Southwest Florida. wind chill at my parents' house in upstate New York was in the negative numbers today. So very happy to be here. Okay, and lastly, public relations. So whether you think you've done this or not, you've been a representative of Hodges. You will always be a representative of this program as you go out into the community. When people ask where you've graduated from, and you say that you got your PTA degree from Hodges, you're going to continue to represent them. You're also going to be representing the profession and our association as members. What we do to help the public recognize our skill set, our particular skill set that can help them. We can't have Dr. Meyer going everywhere showing how much rotation he has, but he's a great advocate for our profession. But we are the best ones to help educate the public on all the great things that physical therapy can do to help people regain their motion and their function. So in closing, I'm welcoming you to the profession. I'm very happy for you for all the hard work you've done. You're going to do, I know you got a few months till you can take those board exams, but please continue to use APTA and FPTA as a resource for information, for what you need to help get through those licensing exams and as you start your career. Congratulations and welcome to the profession. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all here. Thank you, Dr. Swanek. So we kind of rotate who's going to talk amongst the faculty, and when I have done this in the past, I usually start by talking about our awesome students. But I do want to start tonight by talking about everyone else in this room, all the guests that are here tonight. You know, I can talk for hours and hours, and it's one of my faults. My students know this. But I do want to spend some time addressing the support you've given our students throughout this year. This has been a pretty hard year for most of the students. They've had to go through a lot of stress. And no one is taking anything away from everything that they've gone through while they've been here. But all of you tonight have undoubtedly had a humongous impact on what they have gone through this year. Some of you have offered financial assistance. Some of you have offered logistical and life assistance as far as being able to handle different responsibilities that they could not handle as much as they used to. And some of you offered just an ear when they were complaining about Dr. Swanson's choose all that apply questions on their tests. For all those things and the countless other things you guys have done for our graduates, thank you very much, because that has definitely been a big part of them getting to this point. Now, for my graduates, I brought something along with me. Let's see. So, the first day of PTA school, it's very nerve-wracking. They've been told over and over again how stressful this year is going to be, and none of them know each other yet. And so they're not very forthcoming about participating. So what I do before the class starts is I put everybody's name on a popsicle stick, and if no one answers my questions, I draw their names randomly to encourage them to answer. And I'm not going to do that to you guys tonight unless you don't participate at all. So one thing I do want to ask is that there's a formula that they learned throughout the program that's going to affect them both during this program and their patients and everything else that's going to happen in their lives. Do any of you remember that formula? If you can just shout out the first letter. E plus R equals O. So E plus R equals O. That's an event. So some event happens. For this past year, your event was PTA school. That happened in your life, okay? For our patients, it can be a car accident. It can be falling off a rooftop when they were working on in construction. It can be that they caught a disease. R is the reaction. So, going to PTA school, what was your reaction during the year? Did you get negative? Did you study? When you're going through physical therapy, what's your reaction? Do you actually do your exercises at home? Do you get really depressed about your situation? And O is the outcome. So your event happens, your reaction, and then O is your outcome. And that is really a big thing that's going to apply not only to your PTA school, but to your patients. And that's a big part, as Dr. Meyer was talking about. We handled the physical aspect of our patients, but in reality, they're going through a lot of emotional stuff too. And they're going to pour a lot of that out on you. One thing we talked about is expectations. People having expectations in their life, and I expect my life to go a certain way, and it doesn't go the way I expected. And a big part of what we do is getting people back to, or showing them a new expectation that they didn't even know existed before. One big thing we constantly hear in healthcare is about patient satisfaction. And there's a lot of things going into patient satisfaction. Any of you in my graduating class have any idea what goes into patient satisfaction? Josh. Anything that goes into patient satisfaction? Mm-hmm. Yeah, communication. A big part of patient satisfaction is them thinking that you care about them, them thinking that you're centered on them, that you have their best interest at heart. And that's something we constantly try to instill in this program with our students. While it is so important that they are textbook smart, and that's important for passing the licensure exam, the main thing that patients are going to care about is, are they centered on them, and do they have their best interests at heart? There's a lot of smart healthcare practitioners that are horrible with patients, and that's something really big that we've tried to instill with them, and I think we've been successful with that. So as you guys go forward, don't be afraid of failure. I know failure was a big thing, being afraid of failure during this program, but you've made it. Don't be afraid of failure at this point forward. Many people are afraid of failure, and that really stops a lot of people from succeeding. There's a big thing in our society where we try to focus on the success. You might have heard, people aren't defined by their failures, they're defined by their successes. And while this is nice, I really think this is kind of not totally true. I think I am very, very, a big part of my life comes from my failures. I have failed a lot in my life. And I would not be the person I am today if I wouldn't have failed so many times and learned from those failures and become the person I am now. And I don't think I would be anywhere near the person I am now if that wouldn't have happened. A life protected from failure is not a life that is going to be as successful as you think it's going to be. So don't be afraid of that. When you have opportunities, take them, and don't shy away from something because it's hard. Nothing that has ever been meaningful or worthwhile in life has ever been totally easy. I have grown and become a better person because of all my failures, so please don't fear it and grow from it. Nelson Mandela said, "There's no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life less than the one you're capable of living." I know you guys pretty well after last year we went through. And I know all of you are more capable than anything you could ever imagine before. When I was younger, I never thought I would be where I am now. So don't settle for less than you're capable of. Stay near, go far. Congratulations, my fellow therapists. All right, so this class has selected Joshua Ortiz Goodwin as their class president. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Good, good. All right, so I'm very excited to be here today. I'm just happy that this is it for all of us. I was just thinking like this whole time, what am I gonna say when I come up here? But I think I got it down, so. All right. Hello and good evening, and thank you everyone for coming out to join us on the celebration for the 2021 cohort class. My name is Joshua Ortiz, and I am the class president for this year's cohort. Before I get started, I wanted to thank the program director, Dr. Vac, for making this program more enjoyable and always being there when you needed guidance and support. Okay, you want to wave your hand? That's Dr. Vac. Okay. I also wanted to thank Professor Passos and Professor Swanson for making class a fun learning environment for everyone, but also the motivation that they would give to let us know that we could get through this program. A lot of us struggled with that this year, wondering how are we going to get through this program, but they gave us a lot of support and confidence, and we were able to keep that with us and carry that for this entire year. So I wanted to thank you guys for that as well. I also wanted to say thank you to my classmates. I don't think any of us could have gone through this program without each other's support. So I really wanted to thank you guys. This has been a crazy year, but thank you. Okay. So this has been a fast year with a lot of mixed emotions. There were times I wanted to give up, and other times I felt motivated to keep going. This program has taught me a lot about confidence, something that I'm trying to do while I'm up here talking to you guys. But I struggled a lot in the beginning to the point where I didn't know if I was going to be able to do this. Was this actually for me? I asked myself that all the time. I had a lot of support from my family and the professors, which allowed me to push and see the light at the end of the tunnel. All right. This program has also taught me a lot about support and working as a team. Sometimes people want to work by themselves to prove a point that they are smart enough to accomplish that task. But sometimes you need help and support, and reaching out to the professors and other classmates will actually allow you to complete that task. This has been a great experience, and I'm glad we are finally done. Congratulations to the 2021 PTA cohort. We made it. Thank you. Thank you. So please thank me, and Ariana Bartlett is coming up now to do a speech as well. So thank you guys.
Just a little shorter. Hello, everyone. My name is Ariana Bartlett. I'm a student physical therapist assistant at Hodges University. For the last time I get to say that. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, all professors, family, friends, and to each of my fellow classmates that have made this journey one to remember. For our family and friends supporting us throughout this journey, it's definitely appreciated. To our professors who push us each and every day, and to the fellow students who endured this journey and understood the struggle, always there to talk to us and relate, because our family can't relate on the same page. Nobody ever said this year was going to be easy. They said it was going to be a challenge. They said it was going to push us and that we would grow in many ways. In a quick year, we went from not knowing what a goniometer was, there's another word, to knowing how to read a whole case study and create treatment plans from a plan of care. So, went a long way. We each learned to manage patients across all spectrums. Patients coming off ventilators post-COVID to a good old knee replacement. So, definitely a broad spectrum there. This year was not just a challenge academically, but you could call it an emotional roller coaster. However, we were all first in line for the thrill because this was our full desire. We have learned to adapt to many circumstances life has thrown at us and manage what is important. After all, this was our year. We also chose to do it in the midst of a pandemic, so I think that has a lot to say about our attitudes and everything. I'm sure each and every student has days of doubt, days of which we said, is it worth it? Of course, the countless days you turn down your events, from birthdays to vacations, the hard, sorry, I have to study, Sorry, guys. I know we all did it. Our lives will truly never be the same after this year. We have learned to conquer our goals and see life in a new perspective. We have new hope, not just with a steady career ahead, but with confidence in our skills and our mindset. We have shown ourselves what true dedication is. Together as one, we are the class of 2021. We are done, but the journey is not over. Continue to strive for your dreams and stay positive. We are all off to bigger and better things.
I just want to say how proud I am of this group of students, future professionals. Got me choked up there. Yeah, me too. Okay, this is the pinning component of the night. We will call up Ariana Bartlett. Mr. Daniel Calderon. Miss Andy Ellis. Miss Maggie Gabries. Mr. Joshua Ortiz. And Miss Cassie Turturro. Welcome back, President Meyer.
Is that cool or what? I think, or what is right. Yeah, I think we should give them another round of applause. So I get to close this out. I'm given to understand that there is dinner in the back of the room. I smell dinner, and I think I see dinner, so I will be brief. So Dr. Vaccarino is from Jersey. I am from Jersey. So in the spirit of being from Jersey, the next line you'll have to just take in the spirit in which it's intended, which is, yous did it. So what's next? Well, I know you have a licensing exam to take, and I'm not too worried about that, because I know your professors have prepared you well, and I know that you have been good students. I was particularly impressed that you got the popsicle stick answers right And we only had to go to the popsicle stick once? Was that last one was touch and go, but we got there. Okay. All right, good. So as you continue on your career path, one thing I would ask you is to stay in contact with us. Stay in touch with us. We'd like to hear about your accomplishments, what's going well for you, where you end up in your careers, where you go as you accept new jobs. We like to hear about how you're doing. And remember, you will always be a member of the Hodges University family. So with that, I would invite everyone to stay, partake of a little dinner with the graduates, and thank you all very much for being here. Yes, they're free. Do the recession. I forgot.